Today's video is a tutorial in Creative Haven's Christmas Charm coloring book by Teresa Goodridge. I was asked by the lovely Heathers at Heather's Color Palooza if I could please do a tutorial on coloring cardinals in the Teresa Goodridge book. So I went and I got Christmas Charm out. I went and bought it off Amazon because I felt that I had run out of cardinal pages, and this book had quite a few. So I went and I've picked out this page because it has two lovely cardinal birds we can color in. I'm going to be using Prismacolor Premier pencils because I find they work really well on the Creative Haven paper, and I'm going to also make one bird male and the other one female, so you will have both options. Now it will be my first attempt at coloring a female cardinal bird, but also my second attempt at a male cardinal bird. So what I've done is I've hopped onto Pinterest. I've found a couple of photos more or less a similar angle as the birds here, and I'm going to use that as a reference photo. So first up, I've got the female cardinal bird, which I'm going to make this bird. And on my reference photo, which I am going to bring up here for you, I can see that I need some whites, some creams. I might need to bring in some 10% French grey. I need some yellow ochre, I need beige sienna, I need a little bit of mineral orange, and then I'm going to need some of the reds like a poppy red, some pale vermilion, and maybe a crimson red or scarlet lake. And I'm going to start with these pencils. I might bring in some more as we go, we'll see. I'm going to need a 90% warm grey as well, so if you have that you can get it out. I'm going to be looking for mine. Alright, so I found my 90% French grey. No, sorry, not French grey. It's either warm grey or cool grey. It's the cool grey, so the 90% cool grey. Okay, so I'm going to zoom you in so you can see a bit better, and I'm going to do this one male and this one female. So let's do the female bird first. And I'm going to try keep the picture away from where I know my logo comes in. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out my cream. And when I look at my reference photo, I can see that I've got cream coming up at the underside of the bird. So I want to have that in. I'm just going to lay a base layer here. When I look at my reference photo, I can see that there's not much lighter areas on here. I can also put a base on my beak, and I'm going to build that up. Then I'm going to bring in my yellow ochre. Now I see that the yellow ochre is going into some of this cream. So I'm just going to start off lightly, and I'm going to put this yellow ochre as a base on most of the bird, except here at the top. So this section here is brown, and it goes quite dark, so it will copy the male and have quite a dark face. So let's just bring in this yellow ochre, and this is where your layers really come into play. The more layers that you have, and the lighter your layers are, as you build up your colors, it will just really blend and define things really well for you. So you really do want to work where you can on building your layers up. Colored pencils are designed to be layered. They are not designed to be, well, you can use them as single layers. I'm not saying that you can't. All I'm saying is for really getting best results, the more you layer and mix your colors, the better your picture is going to look. Alright, so there I've laid down my yellow ochre. Now, I have purposefully left this portion of the wing and the tail. I've left dark because I'm going to bring in some of the poppy red in here. Now, most likely I'll go over this poppy red with darker colors. But the female cardinal has got some red in her wings. So we want to try and blend that in. Okay, and then up here on this tuft of hair, and then we have this pale vermilion on the beak. And then we go over that with the poppy red. And then we want to bring in some crimson red. And then we can blend it out with the yellow ochre. And go back in over it with pale vermilion. So now I'm going to get out my mineral orange, and I'm going to blend it into and around. Now I'm going to do almost, I want to do these short strokes, almost like I would be doing hair. All right. And we're just going to build this up lightly. I know it can be a bit tedious, but you really want to get these colors in. All right, and then we have our beige sienna. And your beige sienna can go into your red feathers because they do have this color in their feathers. And then we bring it in here. Now, if I look closely at my reference photos, I can see that there is this brownish, or this gray that comes in. So this is the 90% cool gray. And you just want to go around the face. The beige sienna. So now I'm going to get out some of my 70% French grey. And I'm just using this for my shadowed areas. I don't want to use a lot of it. It's sparing underneath the bottom, the underside of the tail and the wing. It's slightly underneath that dark center. Then we have it here in the wing. Now I want to bring in a little bit more brightness into some of this wing here. So I'm using the pale vermilion, and I'm just going to blend it in a bit randomly into some of these wing tips. Right, remembering that the generally in nature your female birds are quite boring. They don't have as much color in them as the male birds. So let's go to poppy red, and then we'll darken the reddish bits up in a sec. But you know, when I was a kid, I used to wonder how I always felt it was a bit unfair that the female animals were always more dull and bland and boring compared to the more vibrant males. And I mean, obviously as a kid you don't really realize the importance of camouflage and all of that, but because I homeschool my kids, and I look and I watch the documentaries with them, I've started to realize that although nature doesn't tend to have the females very vibrant colors, it's because they need to be camouflaged to look after their young, especially those species that do look after their young. So it's nature's way of kind of like just protecting and surviving, you know. So I've had to learn to kind of just rethink things a little bit and appreciate the many differences, and actually the smart intelligence of the natural world. I'm looking for I'll just use a 20% French gray. So I want to have this section here quite light. So I know I'm using a lot of pencils, but as you can see, we're just really working at getting this vibrant and smooth and all those lovely colors. Really taking care to make sure that it's blending up in the right way. So then if I take my white pencil, make sure that the tip is white, otherwise you get all sorts of stuff in it. And then just blend that out. Redefine my shadow with my 70% French gray. And then bring that 70% French gray into the tail here. Can bring in some mahogany red. Because the red is bright, but in some parts it's actually also quite dark. You want a little bit of Crimson Lake, which all it really does is just brighten up that tuft on the crest. It just deepens the red, so it's not too orangey, but it still doesn't knock down that vibrant color. Okay, so now I want my French gray. So this is my 20% French gray, because I'm wanting to blend this in. And then I bring in back in my cream. A bit more of that beige sienna. Okay, so now I want my 90% French gray, because I want to redefine some of these details. And then some of that vermilion. I'm going to take my 20% French gray just to blend this out. and it will just soften the 90% cool grey. So this is the cream, and I'm just using it to blend. So we need a black pencil for the eye. And then white highlight. So that's more or less how I would do the female cardinal. This is the poppy red, and then if I bring in the yellow ochre, you want to just keep trying to blend everything out so it's quite smooth. And I mean, if you're not 100% sure, just pull out some of it and lighten it up. We can lighten this up. So there we can bring in the 20% French grey. And then come in with our white. And just lift up some of the color. Then just do the feet. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to do the male cardinal. Now for him, except for his wings here, they are slightly different. So on his wings, I'm going to use a light mahogany red. So what he ends up having is really bright red, and the underside is this here needs to be a slightly different red because it's going to contrast. Then you have your mahogany red underneath here for the shadowed area, which we'll add some grays to. So if we take a pomegranate here, and it will have some poppy red, and it will mix and it will be a brighter shade of red. Now you want the poppy red, yeah, so you want to bring that poppy red because it's more orangey. It's got to come in all over here, so pretty much all of the bird except the bits that is going to be black. And we can do his beak. Okay, so here, he is all black here. So we're going to add some more orange into this underside because it's a very bright orangey red, not a red. So we want to make sure there's enough orange that when we build up the reds, the darker red bits in this bright section, that there is enough orange to blend in with it so that we keep that beautiful orangey red. So I'm going to go for some Scarlet Lake. Now we can take the Scarlet Lake over the wings . And we're going to bring in some black cherry over here. So if you add a bit of a feathering into the bird's feathers, you do create a bit more texture. If you're not ready for that, then you can just color in just the shading area, so create the shadows, the highlights, and it will still look lovely. Okay, so let's use the 70% French grey and blend in this section here. And then we can find the eye again with the black. Some poppy red here, which will just define his beak. Okay, so then let's do his beak. So we take the poppy red, and we take the scarlet lake, the crimson lake, and then the cream, some poppy red. We just want to blend out this portion here, and we're just using it to help us define the beak. We want a little bit of a light contrast just to help us shape the beak so we don't lose it. Yeah, as I try and, I think I often say it, wherever there's a dark, you want a light. So a bit of white. So again, let's bring in some of this pale vermilion. Then we want some more poppy red. And as you can see here, we're getting this lovely orangey red coming through. And this is what we want. We want this lovely orangey red, crimson red, Okay, so now I want to bring in some mahogany red again. And I'm going to work on building up the darker shadows now and the darker parts of the red wings. I'm going to try and put in a little bit of texture. And then I want some black cherry. Next, we're going to bring in a bit of a blush pink, which is just going to contrast against the bright red. But it's also going to be a bit of a blending pencil for us and just create a bit of a highlight and blend out into the rest of the bird's body. Right, so now I want some Crimson Lake. I want that pink there as a highlight. I don't want it to dull down the redness of the cardinal. We can add some pomegranate as well. And what we're doing is we're just layering up so we can get just a beautiful blend, but also we can see the different reddish tones that this male cardinal has. So I'm going to bring in my pale vermilion. And then we'll come in again with some of that poppy red. Okay, so now I want some of my 90% cool gray, and I'm not going to use it with a very hard pressure. I'm just lightly going to put it in for a bit of texture. And that is how I would color both of these beautiful birds. So if I zoom you out, there you go, you can see. Now, with time and with practice, they will get better. But that is how I would approach them. I think that, you know, you're playing a bit with texture, you're getting the feel for blending different hues of the same color into each other, the various colors that are in the birds, so like especially with the female bird. So there's a lot going on there. And like I said, if you're not comfortable adding texture, if you just do your midtone, your lights, and your shadows, it's still gonna look amazing. So don't stress too much over it. Just enjoy coloring in these beautiful cardinals. Enjoy the process of coloring. It's a hobby. We do it because we love it and it makes us happy. And especially if you're doing Christmas pages, you know, just be happy when you're coloring, because Christmas is a great time to just unwind, hopefully. I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial, and as always, be sure to like, subscribe, comment below. If you have anything else you would like to see colored in, or any help coloring in Christmas pictures, do let me know in the comments below, and I will happily get to those tutorials for you. In the meantime, have a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.